season could be more stressful than usual, just like everything these days, and your refund may be delayed. The IRS recently warned of major challenges for taxpayers due to the significant backlog of returns from last year. The agency also says it faces major staff shortages. CBS News correspondent Scott Macfarlane joins us now from Washington, D.C. with more. Scott, thank you so much for being with us.
Of course. Good to be here.
So how severe is this backlog that we're talking about, and what does it mean for the average American taxpayer?
It is severe, it is staggering, and it means trouble for taxpayers if they need help from the IRS this tax season. The IRS is coming into the 2022 tax year with millions of forms in a backlog it still needs to fully process. 6 million of those 1040 forms alone. And they acknowledge they're vastly understaffed. They have thousands fewer IRS employees than they need to move forward, and that's going to cause a problem. If you call the IRS, the odds are you're going to be on hold a long time. Odds are you will not promptly get somebody on the phone. In fact, a report from the National Taxpayer Advocate says in 2021, the agency took 282 million phone calls and was able to promptly respond to 11% of them. And the backlog is growing. The staffing shortages are growing. This promises to be a year of frustration for the agency, but perhaps more impactfully for us, for taxpayers as well.
Absolutely. 11%, not very good. And it seems like they are struggling with the issues that American business and all industries are really dealing with, staffing shortages. What is Congress doing right now or proposing to try and fix this backlog?
A few small things, a few big things. The small things might be easier to accomplish. There are senators who are asking the IRS to delay its collection of some penalties for some taxpayers who may be caught up in that backlog from previous years, perhaps loosen certain time frames along the way. That being said, tax day remains April 18th. The bigger things will be harder to accomplish. A lot of people want to hire more IRS agents, spend taxpayer money to hire more IRS agents. That's always politically dicey. Even though it might help this problem, it's hard for some members of Congress to go back to Connecticut and tell the constituents, hey, I got us more IRS agents. That doesn't always go over well. More impactfully, you can't just hire and deploy new IRS agents. The tax code's difficult to navigate. We know that when we file. You have to train agents on the arcane, elaborate tax code before you put them to work, and that takes time.
And I want to ask you one last question before you go on a different matter. You've been talking all this week about that. It's a big week for the U.S. House January 6th committee. What are the highlights of this week?
One of the biggest weeks yet. Tomorrow, they will interview Stewart Rhodes, the Oath Keepers founder, the accused seditious conspirator. His defense lawyers confirmed that to me just a few moments ago. Thursday is supposed to be its voluntary meeting with Ivanka Trump. There are other subpoena deadlines coming, and there are some high-level court cases coming. We'll see if there are new trial dates set. As of now, none of the defendants from New England has a firm trial date. That could change in the coming weeks.
It is never dull in Washington, D.C. Scott Macfarlane, CBS News correspondent, thank you so much for your insight and for being with us. We appreciate it.